Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Amazing Ara Arts. If you are new here, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and also hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my art tutorial. Today we are diving into the beautiful world of watercolor painting. I will discuss few of the easy watercolor techniques which everyone should know as a watercolor artist. And if you are a beginner, don't worry, I'll be sharing some essential watercolor techniques. So grab the brushes and let's begin. So you can use any of the brushes which you have, no need of fancy brushes and watercolor palettes, whatever you have and whatever you use for your artwork. The basic ones, watercolors, even the basic ones like this can work. No need of professional art supplies. So first, a technique which is very basic one, okay, and it's a very soothing one basically. So you have to dip your water brush in a water properly, and then just make a squash. So this is a color on water effect. So wet your paper properly with any of the brush you have, okay. Make sure that the brush is wet, okay, and it contains a lot of water. And before you will have a question like what kind of paper we will use. So here I'm using 200 GSM watercolor paper. You can use any of the GSM papers which are less than or greater than 300 GSM. 300 GSM will work the best, but 200 also will work. So here, after wetting the paper, you have to just take the color and just dab it on that particular section where you have wetted the paper. So it is a very soothing effect. Yes, you will see the water is disposing the watercolors, and it's giving a very good vibrant effect on it. So it's a very beautiful kind of a thing which you can try just for fun and for relaxing your mind, okay. And this technique anyone can do anytime they want. So here I'm using two colors. You can use one color, multiple color, and also you can have this as in base for your any of the watercolor artworks, okay, basically. So now, as I'm using two colors, you can see the effect is like so good. If you use multiple colors, you will have a multiple smudged effect on a paper. So tell me how you liked it. Next technique which we are going to discuss is wet on wet technique, in which you have to use water on the paper properly and wet your paper properly with the brush, okay, thoroughly. As you can see, I'm using the paint also which contains a lot of water. So that's why this technique is called as wet on wet, as you're using a wet paint on a wet base which is like a water paint, okay. So this will give you a very shading effect. Whenever you want to do a shading effect on the particular painting, you can use this. Can you see the color is effortlessly blending? So basically you can use this for a blending purpose. Now I'm taking a red color on my brush. As you can see from the previous two things, I'm not wetting the paper, but I'm just taking the color directly on the dry paper and just applying it on the paper. So this is called as a wet on dry technique. Here you paint directly onto the dry paper, giving more control and defined edges. And this technique is great for adding details like tree branches or any architectural diagrams which you architectural paintings or elements you are adding. So for this you have to use wet and dry technique. You can use a simple a flat brush or a rounded brush for this purpose. And you can also use this technique for simple flower painting. Now the next is a dry on dry technique, in which I have not taken a lot of water on the colors, okay, and also the paper is dry, so it is like I'm making the hearts on the dry side of the paper, and the paint also I'm not using a lot of water. So this can be used for making textures, okay, to create textures on paper or anything. You can use this kind of a technique. So now I have made small hearts on the paper. So this can be a base for making greeting cards. So simple greeting cards you can make using these techniques, or any detailing work which you want as a texture. Next is a blending technique, okay, in which I'm taking the green color, as you can see, taking a use of flat brush. I am painting the first part of the page as a green color. This technique also can be used for blending two colors, in which you have to basically apply color on the top and the bottom, and then just take a dry brush to mix those two colors. So as you can see, I'm applying red in the bottom and I have applied green on the top. For presentation purposes, I'm only using limited color palette, but for your artwork you can use as many as colors possible. Now I'll take a dry brush with just water on it and I will try to blend these two colors properly. As you can see, I'm getting a gradient kind of effect in this just by blending the two colors with a plain brush, just with the water. But in this technique you have to take care, like you have to be a little quick, and you have to take care like both the colors should not dry up. If both colors are dry up and then you are mixing it, then you are blending it, it won't give that effect. So important note over here to remember is both colors should be wet. Next technique which we are going to see is a glazing technique. It is just like a wash of watercolor, light wash of watercolor on your page, which can be any starting point of your painting. Anywhere you can use, just to give a particular edge over your paintings, a first layer of your painting. Next is a lifting method. Now in this I will be using a green color and I will just apply it all over my page. So once you have applied with the color, you have to be very careful that the color you are spreading is even, and a good amount of color you have to take into your brush, otherwise this technique won't look good. Okay, so once I have as you have to take a tissue paper, okay, and you have to use this technique before the paint gets dry, okay. Just dab it with the tissue paper, use a dab technique on it, and you can see that you will get a very, very smooth kind of a, you know, lifting method, in which you can use this technique. You can use for creating clouds, okay. So it's a very great technique. Next technique which we are going to see, it's a kind of a fun technique that is called as a splatter technique, in which you have to take a brush and just take a little amount of paint and just splatter all over your page. You can see it is turning out so beautiful. Next is the stippling technique, in which you have to dip your round brushes into the paint with little water and just dab it onto the page, okay, and all over the page you can use this, and you will get a particular very nice kind of a texture. So these are all